Big Guy Fitness Daily Journal, day 31. Today's main topic of the day is going to be choosing foods for a cut phase, especially paying attention to the macros. I usually talk about not worrying too much about macros, for me at least, especially when it comes down to, I'm supposed to eat 2,400 calories. Well, I think I just ate, 50 calories over that, or the protein, I need this much protein, but I'm short by 12 grams of protein. I mean, when it comes down to that finite numbers of things, they do add up, and it is something, especially if you're in the beginning of your journey, you do want to calculate everything. So a good thing to do is literally for 2 weeks, write down every single thing you eat, even if you just eat one little chip or one piece of candy, or you drink 3 sips of Gatorade. I know that sounds silly, but just take the time and write it all down. And then at the end of the day, each day, calculate about how many calories, how much fat, how much protein. And then at the end of the week, add that all up and see where you are with that number, because it's more, the weekly number matters a lot more than the daily number. Daily numbers add up, but you want to track yourself per week. At least that's what I think is really important, because if you're focused on every day, every hour, every meal, that ends up developing the stress, right? And the stress is the thing that really keeps us from a lot of gains. Our body tightens up, freezes up, because it's under stress and it's trying to eliminate the stress, basically. So yeah, focus more on the weekly, the long-term things. But those numbers are important to find out what your baseline is, where you're at. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is the other day I was, again, I'm in a little bit of a cut phase right now. I wasn't in maintenance, so now I'm cutting down some calories, and I'm trying to lower my calories by about 400 calories every day. I'm not doing the whole crazy, it's not crazy, but I'm not getting back into huge intermittent fasting. And I still do, I guess, 16-8 probably, which is pretty standard. I eat for 8 hours each day, but I'm not doing the one meal a day where I'm basically fasting for 23 hours. So with this, I'm trying to just cut enough calories to start losing stuff, keep my workup up, keep my energy up. But I need to, of course, get all the protein I need. So I am looking at calories of things and also protein. And one thing I looked at the other day was I was eating some tuna fish. And I had 2 different cans of tuna fish. I had one that was the standard albacore from Costco, and it's a little bit of a larger can. I think it's 153 gram can with water. Now, I had another can that was smaller from Costco, and it was a yellowfin tuna, and it was in oil, and it was only 113 grams with the oil. So I drained both of those, and so you get a little less weight, I guess. But still, that's a big difference. 113 grams to 150, right? It's a lot more to consume. And the protein in the big albacore one was 49 grams, I think, of protein. No, 47 grams of protein. And the protein in the yellowfin was only 29. So that's a big difference in protein, right? I mean, that's 13 grams. However, I figured it out. Maybe it was 49 and 27. So it was 13 grams of protein difference in the whole can. And the calories for the yellowfin was like 230, I think, for a smaller can, and the regular albacore was 190. So there's less calories in the whole large can of albacore than the yellowfin, and there's way more protein. So you would think the better choice, right? I don't think either one's a bad choice. The flavor's a little better if you're gonna not put it on a sandwich, use mayonnaise and all that stuff in the yellowfin, because that oil, even though they say don't get that tuna in oil because there's I saw this Thomas DeLauer talk about it, because you don't really know what oil's in there. A lot of time that's a lot cheaper oil, and it's even though it says olive oil, it doesn't say extra virgin, it doesn't say single source. and therefore there could also be some seed oils in there and stuff. But I don't know. Again, a little bit here and there. There's the macro thing again. I don't care too much about that, so I don't mind. And to add flavor to the albacore, I just put regular extra virgin single source olive oil on it, a little salt and pepper. Now this is when I'm cutting. When I'm not cutting, I will eat that tuna with mayonnaise. I'll eat it on bread for carbs. But right now I'm just talking about the cans themselves. So I'm getting 13 extra grams of protein, way less calories. So the 13 grams, again, may seem somewhat macro. I mean, it's not like 2 grams or 3 grams, which I call really, pretty much macro. But 13 grams is, if you eat a thing of small yogurt, like a regular thing of protein yogurt, it's 13 to 16 grams of protein. So that 13 grams is like a serving of a meal I would have in protein, because a lot of times I'll have one of those small yogurts with some berries, maybe an apple, and my protein's coming 13 grams from that. So those little things do matter to me. And in this cut phase, I'm starting to calculate. I'm doing exactly what I said. Every day I'm writing down my meals just to see and make sure I'm getting the lack of calories, the calorie deficit that I'm looking for. Because one other thing, and I'll finish on this, all the things written on these cans of food, boxes of food, they're allowed to be 20% margin, somewhere around there. So if something says it's 200 calories, that could be 40 calories off, right? If it says it's 40 grams of protein, it could be 8 grams of protein too much that it's saying. So you're really not getting that. So everything you calculate, you want to make sure you calculate with that in mind. And especially protein, something that you really can't get enough of, but you need the right amount to maintain and grow muscle. If you think you need 170 grams of protein because that's your body weight and you're doing 1 gram per body weight, calculate that you might actually need 20% more than that. So you might need almost another like 36 grams of protein, right? So just keep all that stuff in mind. Don't focus too much on this stuff, but it is important to look at. And then, since tuna is something that I always eat, I just want to know these things so that if I am cutting, okay, I'm going to choose the albacore with the lower calories and higher protein. That Thomas DeLauer also did mention that he doesn't actually eat the albacore anymore. He's kind of a nutritionist guy, who really knows the science behind it. And he says that the chunk tuna is a little better because it has less mercury in it. Now, mercury is one of those controversial things. How much really are we intaking? The mercury, if you go down that rabbit hole with seeing the bigger fish end up eating all these other fish that have mercury in it, so they're always ingesting more and more mercury and within themselves. So yeah, mercury can be an issue. So I may take a look at that chunk tuna that Costco has and see what that protein, the protein and calorie is. And I'm assuming that it's probably similar. It's just that yellowfin is a different type of fish. And I think that's why the numbers are slightly different, why it's more calories, because it's fattier. Maybe it's a fattier tuna. But anyway, so that's my discussion about this. I thought it was pretty fascinating. I never realized what a big difference 2 cans of tuna were. So, music listening for the day, if you watch the short video, and I'll put it in the description below, is Larry Carlton. My God, genius guitar player. I transcribed some of his stuff a long time ago for a lesson. He's one of my favorite guitar players. I have several, probably a good handful of 10, and there are only the top 3 have been the top 3 for a long time, and he's one of them. His album was a Desert Island album. I just had a stroke, I think. This Live at the Baked Potato, late night it's called. is one of my albums that I would bring everywhere with me. It introduced me to blues in a way I'd never heard before. And but it's blues rock, so it's got some jazz stuff to it. And Larry Carlton is just this huge session guitar player. Played on absolutely everything, won Grammys, just genius musician, was hired for everything in the 70s and 80s. And yeah, so check this album out. Also check out that video. I talk a lot about that. And if you want to see the lesson I did, it's like a 3-part lesson on this song called BP Blues, one of my favorite songs. It's like a 3.5-minute solo. So much juiciness in it, and his guitar tone plays these Dumble amps, which are, yeah, I mean, if you know anything about legendary guitar stuff, they are the most sought out. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for these amps. They were hand wired by a guy, blah blah blah. We can talk about that another time. So anyway, I hope everybody's having the most amazing day. There's also a question of the day. Please comment on that. That's a real fun thing to have a discussion and hear about what you guys are thinking. And yeah, comment on this video too. Let's talk about this stuff. I appreciate it. I like this community, and it's really inspiring me to continue doing this every day. Sometimes it gets a little difficult. Anyway, like, subscribe, share the video, please. And I will talk to you on the next one.